Happy Sunday, guys. How are you? Welcome into another edition of the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault, your host every single morning. Follow me on Twitter at Sports Talk Matt. You guys can get this video on YouTube, audio wherever you get your audio podcasts. Always being brought to you by BetMGM. Got the offer, the $5 offer to win $100. Juice 100. When you bet on a game, Sunday side, money line total, touchdown gets scored in that game, you win $100 in free wagers thanks to BetMGM with the promo code Juice100, BetMGM or BetMGM.com. Okay, so yesterday, woo, baby, one of and maybe the best Saturday I had betting overall. We had numerous games going. And, you know, some of you guys are enjoying this. We've had a pretty good run over the last 4 days. Overall, my cards have won 3 of the last 4 days. And yesterday was finally a really good day for the official plays. Both 1-unit wagers cashed with Wake and Ole Miss. That's great. We get a couple of nice additions. The Moneyline Parlay, Michigan, Ohio State cashed for us. We get the Baylor plus 3.5. That cashed for us. The only bet we got wrong was the UFC fight, which unfortunately we did not get that with the half a unit on the fight to not go to the cards. It did go to the cards between Rodriguez and Holloway. I was fine with that because that fight was sick. It was an incredible fight. So, and then I had a ton of other things going on that came in and cashed. I'm not going to go through all of them here today, but I think I ended up having like 10 bets. I think overall we're watching Texas and Gonzaga right now. I had Texas plus 7. And they're down by what? They're down by 16 right now on the road. So 6 to play in the second half. So most likely that's an L. Nevada's down 3. I have Nevada money line on the road at San Diego State. So if they come back and win that game in the second half, that will end the night on a good run, but just a very good day overall. So with that stated, when I had a really good Saturday, I normally come back and fire heavily on Sunday. I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to listen to myself. I hate this NFL card. Okay. I absolutely despise it. No matter what I do, how close I come to pulling the trigger, I just don't know what to do it. Like, just for instance, so Seattle is taking on Green Bay. The books went ahead and put the number at 5.5 to open with the anticipation that both Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson would be playing. We know Wilson is. Rodgers has been cleared. He's going to play. That number went from 5.5 down to 3.5 and now has stayed at 3.5. Aaron Rodgers, when he was ruled out last week, was worth 6 points. Aaron Rodgers now is worth nothing. No movement. None. I mean, the professionals in the books bet it like they were going to have Rodgers there, and they were taking the Seahawks at plus 5.5. I don't know what to do with that. Like, okay, bet the Packers at home, right? -3. There's something fishy up with that game, okay? That is a trap game. The books are laying a trap. Just to tell you right now, that's a game where I want no part of. The Patriots are at home, laying 2.5. Trent Brown's playing. The Patriots' offensive line is going to be healthier, or at least healthy-ish. Trent Brown that's big. If the whole game hinges on the pass rush for the Browns making Mac Jones uncomfortable, oh boy. But here's the thing. The Patriots at home have not been good. Against the spread, they've not been good. They're a much better road team than a home team for some real strange reason. I think the Patriots win the game. I do. But man, I can't lay the 2.5. I just can't get there. I want to bet the Colts. I'm not laying double digits. I'm just not. There's tons of money on the Jags. Can't do it. So I'm struggling. I'm telling you right now, I'm struggling. So what I've got for you, I've got a teaser in the NFL. I've got a college basketball bet, and I have an NBA bet. And that's it. Okay. This is one of the smallest Sunday cards going into Sunday that I'm going to have. We're going to have the Wong teaser that we will do during the live stream with Dan Harris and myself. I will have 4 player props going. So we'll have that. We'll have player props going, but this is the type of day where I really just like to look at the circa picks, and that's it. So let me give you the circa picks, just you guys. You can fade or follow these circa picks. Neither team's been all that good this year. So here we are with our picks for the Daily Juice team, which has 20.5 points on the year, which is not good. Colts minus 10.5. That number is now 10. Jets plus 11.5. Titans -3. I don't know what to do with that game. A part of me says take the Saints. Packers -3. Rams -4. Rams are Monday night. We'll talk about the Rams on tomorrow's podcast. My personal team with Circa, with Papa Bear, we've gone Browns +2.5 because he stood on the table for the Browns. He's very smart. I trust him a lot, but man, I don't like that pick. But fine. At 2.5. More on that game here in a second. Chargers -3. Tough call with the Chargers. That's a tough call. Packers -3. Eagles +3. More on that game here in a second. And the Rams -4. Okay. So that's my personal Circa team. That team's got 22.5 points. Not that much better. Okay. So, do what you want with those picks if you want. Okay. So before I give you the 3 picks for today, again, I'll build the card out. I'll give you my full play, my full cards. I'll have more stuff going on today. Maybe more basketball and hockey than football, though. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to stay light with the NFL for this week. I smell something. Something's up with this week. But this hat I'm wearing, if you're on YouTube, you can see it. Yeehaw beer. I got a care package from our friend Bearded Wonder on the Discord channel. He sent me a huge box of stuff where he works. Yeehaw beer in Tennessee. Awesome stuff. If you're in Tennessee, look him up. He sent me t-shirts and hats and hoodies and I've never had Yeehaw. And now I need to have Yeehaw beer. I got all the gear. Now I need to actually, experience Yeehaw beer because it's pretty cool stuff. Really cool trucker hat that I'm wearing and other cool stuff. So thank you very much for that. That was really kind and nice. I appreciated that care package arriving today. That was very, very cool. Okay, let's start with the one NFL play that I'm going to go into the day having. And okay, so I mentioned the Eagles and I mentioned Eagles and the Browns. Okay, so the Eagles, there's been a bunch of money that's come in here on Philadelphia. This number is down to 1.5. Okay, the Browns number is 2.5. So what I'm going to do and what I have done here, and I don't love this bet, but this is kind of the only thing I can come up with right now that I actually somewhat like. I'm going to take the Browns and I'm going to give them 8.5 points. 2.5 up to 6.5. So we cross 3 and we cross 7. 2 key numbers, really important to go ahead and cross those 2 numbers. Okay. So we do that plus 8.5. The Eagles money has come pouring in and everyone thinks the Broncos are done, that they're not going to, do big things. The Eagles are still playing hard. I don't like the Eagles, but Circa play +3, my partner really likes the Eagles a lot. So it had me look into it, and I kind of came around to the idea of, okay, wait, I can tease this up to 7.5. So that's the teaser I'm going to give out here for 1 unit. Okay. We may have some other stuff. There may be some official plays depending on who is in, who is out, some late game situations in the NFL. But right now, all I'm doing is a 1 unit teaser. We'll have a Wong teaser. I'm 7-2 on the year for Wong teasers coming up for in the live stream. So I'll have another. Maybe I'll just have 2 teasers and that's it. But Browns +8.5, Eagles +7.5, -120 for 1 unit. That's my only bet right now. Okay, for the NFL. That's all I'm jumping in here. And again, this card, I just feel like there's minefields all over the place. And one of the beautiful things about betting is that we don't have to bet. If you don't feel it, you just don't have to bet. And I'm just not feeling the card. I don't want to force it. I don't want to just kind of throw money just because I'm supposed to bet. I don't want to do it. So 1 unit, NFL Browns +8.5, Eagles +7, maybe some other stuff coming in the future. But I think the Patriots could win the game, and I think they could win the game by field goal. They could win the game by 4 points. I think it's a 1-possession game one way or the other for Browns-Patriots. So that's why I'm comfortable giving the Browns +8.5. And then I think the Eagles, if they lose the game, same thing, lose the game by 4 or 5 points, and we're good with 7.5 over 7. So I don't see them getting beat by more than 2 scores in Denver for the Eagles. So 2 road teams, giving them 8.5 and 7.5 for 1 unit for my only NFL play going into the day for Sunday. Now, NBA play, half a unit play. Look, Golden State's on the road at Charlotte, laying 5. So here's what this homestand turned into, and this is the first road game after a monster homestand for the Golden State Warriors, where they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games at home. On that homestand, they went 6-2 against the spread. Okay, 6-2. They covered their last 3. They covered 6 of the last 7 games on that homestand for the Golden State Warriors. They beat the Bulls laying 5.5 by 26. They beat Minnesota laying 7.5 by 13. They beat Atlanta laying 3.5, won by 14. They pushed against Houston laying 13 and won by 13. They beat New Orleans by 41, laying 9.5. They beat Charlotte, a team they're playing coming up here today, by 22 points, laying 6 points at home. And Oklahoma City minus 12.5 won that game by 21 points. On the flip side, Charlotte just is coming off of a win over the Knicks where they were 2.5-point home dogs and they won by 8. Covered by 10.5 points. On the road against Memphis, 4.5-point dogs. They won by 10. So dogs both games, winning both outright. Before that, though, they were 0-5 against the spread and didn't cover in 6 of the previous 7 games. Okay. At home this year, Charlotte is 3-2 against the spread. On the road, Warriors are 2-1. Now, the Warriors are going to be on the road for quite a while now. Okay. They got a big road trip coming. However, when you got a first game of a road trip, normally travel doesn't matter. Okay. Normally it's not that big of a deal. And you're like, oh, travel. What about now? I'm not going to worry too much here about travel in the first game. I'm just going to take this Warriors team and hopefully everybody's playing. Hopefully we're not going to get a late scratch and get burned here, but they've covered 6 of 7, 3 in a row. I'm going to lay the 5 points here with the Warriors in the first game of this road trip. Maybe not the next couple of games, but for this one game on the road trip up against Charlotte, I'm going to lay it. The better team, the red hot team, the Warriors, minus 5 for a half a unit. Other half a unit. Where are we going? It's our first bet of our old friends. It's our first bet. South Dakota at Drake Knapp Center in Des Moines. I love this team. I still love this team. I still love D-Rock, head coach of the Drake Bulldogs. And look, we don't know a ton about either team after one game. Okay, both played complete cupcakes. You have a South Dakota team that against Air Force was laying 7 points and they won by 6. So technically they didn't cover. We have a line here of 16. Opened at 14. It's been bet to 16. I hope it doesn't climb much more than that because I don't want it to go anywhere near 20. Okay. I wouldn't bet it much higher than 17. Okay. So if you guys get up in the morning and it was higher than 17, I wouldn't bet this higher than 17. But Drake's at home. And Drake normally likes to pound these teams they recruit against because they do recruit against South Dakota. All right. This is a Summit League team who they are in competition with for a variety of players in the upper Midwest, in Minnesota, in the Dakotas, in Iowa, in Nebraska. So this is a game where normally they like to put it on them early in the year. They like to get after it and kind of bang them around and beat them. Drake forced 17 turnovers in their first game against Coe College. But, I mean, okay, we're not going to learn anything about Coe College. This is really the first game for Drake. And I think this Drake Bulldog team can still be decent in the Valley. I don't think they're going to be as good as Loyola, okay? I still love Loyola, but I think Drake can put a hurting here. Half a unit. I'm going to lay the 16 points with Drake at home. Let's get a blowout victory for the Drake Bulldogs here. 16 points, minus 16. Big number, but we laid a bunch of big numbers last year with Drake, and they were really good for us. Let's do it again. Maybe there's some hangover from last year. Maybe that's why the books are inflating the numbers here just a little bit, but I'm going to lay 16. Hopefully you guys get a better number than me. Minus 16 for Drake at home against South Dakota. All right, so that is the card for today right now, okay? Plus 7.5 for the Eagles, plus 8.5 for the Browns, 2-leg teaser, minus 120, 6-point teaser. We're going minus 5 for the Warriors on the road at Charlotte, and Drake at home minus 16 up against South Dakota here in college basketball. All right. 2 units in play. We'll have the Wong teaser during the live stream with Dan Harris and I starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern. Then we've got the prop bets coming in, full unit going on the prop bets as well. So it's not like we're going to be lacking for plays. I'm just, as of right now, at the time of taping, I'm just not in love with the current NFL card. Maybe once things kind of settle down closer to kickoff, maybe I'll fall in love with some stuff. I'll have some play on Sunday Night Football, but I'm watching that number and I want to see if we can get to 3 for the Raiders. And if we get to 3, I may be on the Raiders plus 3 for an official play. I think the over could climb. And if it climbs higher than 52, primetime unders again, man. I want to bet the under in that game, but I'm so scared to do it, and I'm not doing a teaser. I'm just not. Either I'm betting the Chiefs +3 or nothing. Okay, or sorry, the Raiders +3 or nothing. But Raiders are at home. Chiefs defense is still a mess. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that game either, to be quite honest. Before we wrap, a couple of really cool things to announce for future bets. We cashed our 2 favorite college football futures that will cash at the end of the season, but we hit them both last night. Ole Miss over 7.5 wins, my number 1 favorite future bet of the entire preseason, cashed. Ole Miss wins 8 games now. And UNLV have won 2 games in a row. My second favorite bet, UNLV over 1.5 wins. The Rebels get it done. Both those came in, and those will cash for us coming up at the end of the football season. That's very cool to announce. Like that a lot, what we're seeing for college football. We'll keep an eye on the other bets that we got going here as well in the futures market. NFL has done pretty well for us. Our future wagers are looking okay. You know, some of these teams could get there for us from a future bet, but my 2 favorite college football, my number 1 favorite Raiders over 6.5 bet. That's my favorite NFL future. That's trending in the right direction. Obviously, with 5 wins, they need 2 more wins to get there for them. So to get to 7 wins, so be 7-10, and they get there for us. Tough schedule for them, but maybe they beat the Chiefs, and maybe we get to 6, and then we need 1 more win the rest of the way. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt. I'll talk to you in the live stream with Dan Harris and myself off of YouTube coming up 11 a.m. Eastern time here with BettingPros.com.